Hi guys, I'm Jenny with Roots and Wings Furniture. Today we're going to make over this old cedar chest. Want to see how I do it? Let's go. Okay, I picked up this old cedar chest. It was actually found on the side of the road and I got it at a yard sale. What I've done so far, I refinished the top of it. I like to keep this wood look, so I sanded it down, I restained it, the top is done, and it looks fantastic. The bottom of it though, I started cleaning it to get ready to paint it, and look at what happened. My rag turned pink. Now, when this happens, you know for sure if you are going to paint this any light color at all, it is going to bleed through like crazy. It's either going to turn yellow, or in this case, it would turn pink as soon as that paint hits the chest. I don't want a pink chest. I want this chest to be a nice, warm white. So I did go ahead and prime this with some stain blocking primer just to get us going here today. I just painted it on, let it dry. This is 2 coats of the stain blocking primer. So that's why it looks like this here. That's what I've done so far, but today we're gonna take it up the next level and really finish it. I'm gonna use Dixie Belle's Fluff. This is their chalk mineral paint. It's a really pretty, like I say, warm off-white color. And I'm gonna use the flat medium brush. This is a synthetic brush. It's so soft and nice, and it's gonna really help with level it out, no brush strokes, anything like that. So that's what we're going to use to paint this chest today. We're going to give it a nice, beautiful finish. So let's get started. Dixie Belle paint is nice and thick, so I'm going to start with a damp brush. I'm just going to dip my brush in a jar of water and wipe it off a little bit on the paper towel. That'll just help the paint smooth over the surface. Really nice. Don't forget to use long, even brush strokes. If you need your paint a little bit thinner, you can add some water. It is water-based. Or on the reverse, if you wanted it thicker for a more textured look, you could let it sit open for a few minutes and it will begin to dry out just enough that the paint will thicken. It is covering so nice. We did have the 2 coats of the stain blocking primer on there. However, you can see the primer didn't cover it super well, but this paint is going on really nice and really covering. Y'all, we might get lucky with a 1 coat project here. For a full supply list of everything you will need to create this awesome finish, check out the description below this video. Okay, I am just gonna let this dry a little bit. It is already starting to dry, and you guys, it covered so well. I'm super impressed with the coverage. It just went on perfectly, and you can see I hardly used any paint. I mean, it really went far and it covered really nicely. So I'm gonna go wash out my brush while this dries just with some warm water, and we'll be back to distress this. Okay, I want to do a little bit of distressing on this. I think it has some really nice, classy details with the trim work here and the lines. So my favorite way to distress is using sandpaper. I have 120 grit sandpaper. I just fold it up in my hand and I'm gonna just highlight the details. Now, I think about distressing in a couple of ways. Not only is it highlighting, it's going to bring out the wood tones, so it's going to highlight the details, but also I like to think of where it would naturally get some distressing just living in a house, from the vacuum cleaner hitting it or the kids playing with it or whatever. That way your piece will last longer and it'll look more natural than just having distress marks all over. So that's kind of what I think about when I go for distressing. So I just take my sandpaper and run it along the edges. The paint is dry and it's really, really flat finish, but it did turn out beautiful. There's no brush strokes. It's really nice and flat and crisp and clean. You do want to distress within, you definitely when the paint is dry, but within a short amount of time, because as this paint cures, it's going to really harden and it would be a lot harder to distress later on. There we go, just as quick and easy as that. The piece is distressed. I love how it looks, it's just enough. I'm just gonna dust this off now. Just get a damp rag, get a clean paper towel. All right, I dusted off all of the paint dust and everything. And the last thing I want to do is just add a clear coat to this. I'm going to use the same brush I used to paint, just all cleaned off, and then I'm going to use the satin clear coat. Just because this paint is so flat, it doesn't need a top coat for durability, but I do want a top coat just to give it a little bit of shine, dress it up a little bit, and it'll also seal in the wood that we just revealed here. So, same way we applied the paint, just add the clear coat. The most common mistake with any kind of top coat or clear coat is overworking it. So the trick is really to just get enough on there. Just smooth it out, go over it once with your brush, and then to leave it alone. It'll level itself and give it a nice smooth finish all on its own. But the more you work it, the more you keep running the brush over it, that's when you're really gonna see some brush strokes. You're gonna see an uneven finish that way. So just put it on there and then let it do its job, just like that. Just like that. Look how pretty it looks. It was so easy to do and a really fun process along the way. So I'm gonna let this dry probably about an hour till it's dry to the touch. It's a little cool in here, so it's gonna take a little bit longer today. And then 24 hours before light use and moving it around, and then it is good to go. So thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to check out all the Dixie Belle products. They're listed in the description. You can click the link below and shop to your heart's content. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll show you final pictures of this in just a minute.